Hey there, I'm Kat Mak, and welcome to another episode. See, I've got no voice, and I've got my turmeric, lemon, water, ginger right here. One of the biggest mistakes I see women make is thinking that their story doesn't matter. And you know what? Why do I know this? Because that was me. That was me, and I spent almost 40 years in retail operations, in retail, speaking to people on a daily basis and getting to know their story. Because once they tell me their story, they open up and I can satisfy the customer's needs. So I'm here to tell you that it's not strategy, it's not credentials, it's not results people want. They want to hear your story. I haven't actually finished. I've been honored enough to be interviewing 25 amazing authors as part of the Empower Her Powerhouse edition, where 25 women also shared their story. And one thing that I would ask them was, why did you share your story? And many of them said, you know what? I was scared. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think anybody would want to listen. But guess what? Totally selfish on my behalf, because the 25 stories that I heard have actually changed my life. So if 25 women are changing my life and I'm one person, that means that you have the power to change other people's lives. Isn't that what we're here for? Now, this is the thing. Your story is not a weakness in business. It is your most powerful marketing tool. Did you just hear what I said, what I used to do in store when I was talking to customers? It's one of the most powerful marketing tools, but it all depends on how you say it. So, for example, I'm going to go back to my retail days, and I've got this vision of me with a woman with a pram walking into a store. And of course, I say hello, become personable, ask her about the pram, the baby, where she's at, blah, blah, blah. Her body language then becomes more comfortable. She then starts telling me her whole life story. She then starts telling me she's coming for a red bag, but she really needs to get a watch for her husband. But she really wants a red bag. So, of course, I'm going to listen to her story because she wants to be heard, but she doesn't want to be heard in a boohoo kind of way. So this is the thing. Before people buy from you, they need to know, like, and trust you. I know you've heard this 1,000 times before, but it's true. It's true. The trust isn't built by published marketing, like, unless you're Amazon. And let me tell you, before Amazon became Amazon, they were doing the relatable stuff because it's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, McDonald's, KFC. I can talk about any major brand, rinse and repeat. Dolce & Gabbana just went out. I think they did their show yesterday or the day before. And Madonna has been one of their fans for 40 years. And because she could relate to the brand and they have built trust and a relationship over the years, and she was in the front row, guess what they did? They hugged her, they whispered in her ear, and they asked her then and there, hey, do you want to get on the runway? And she's like, I never thought of it, but because I love you guys and we've got a relationship, heck, why not? It's that simple. Like, that simple. So it's built through authentic storytelling. Your story helps people understand where you've come, what you do, what you've gone through. And because you become relatable, you're not going to be relatable to everyone. So this is the thing. Your storytelling is the most powerful, visible tool you can do. And yes, a podcast is one way of doing it. Being an author in a book is another way of doing it. And I did that last year. I haven't actually brought it to read the real stories of the women that I collaborated with as a publisher. By God, it'll be in the links below, but I'd love you to read their stories. And what it does is exactly what I said. It creates that connection, because as women, and I'm going to tell you from personal experience, we hold back. Because we say, who wants to hear my story? It's messy. It's not important. So you dull yourself down, you say you're not worthy, and then you shrink because somebody else said, why are you going to go out and say your stuff? And you're sitting there trying to build your brand. Now, I know this is an in your face podcast, but from interviewing the 25 women that I've had, and they'll be going out on my YouTube channel next couple of weeks, it is evident yet again that storytelling has so much impact. You keep on telling yourself you're not important, you're not good enough, people will judge me. You then start to get that fear factor and you get the FOMO and you think, oh my God, I've got to look amazing. You've got to talk amazing. Well, no, not really. Not really. In fact, we had so many techie issues that I built rapport with the women on the show, on the podcast that I did for the author series, because we had so many techie issues, and that's life. So this is the thing, parts of your story that you're unsure about because you feel in your gut feels a bit weird. I might be sharing that. Who wants to hear it? Is really probably part of the story that somebody wants to hear. That is going to be your biggest shift. Now, I'm not talking about oversharing and being victim. Nobody wants that. Like, I want to cringe, I want to vomit. But when you share your story and what you've gone through and how you've grown and what you're doing now, just like I've shared my story with how my podcast started, it started on the day my mum passed away because I couldn't share my voice and I was feeling stuck. And I'm like, I wanted to scream because I felt blocked and people around me were just, there was so much drama and there was so much stuff going on that I wanted to suffocate. And on the day my mum passed, I said, before she passed, I said, Mum, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to start a podcast and who knows where it leads, and the rest is history. So you need to turn your story into leadership. Don't be scared. Otherwise, you're going to be the world's best kept secret. You've heard me say this time and time again. And I'm sharing this out with you for another reason. That is how movements are built. From me sharing my story, she said yes to herself. This has now become a movement. People around the world have grabbed this book and gone, oh my God, I can resonate with Mary. I can resonate with Siska. I can resonate with you. And guess what? Your story may feel ordinary to you, but it's not to others. Just remember that. We get stuck in that small man syndrome. It doesn't have to be that way. It might be that exact permission that other person needs to go, you know what? I'm going to reach out to that person and I'm going to reach out to them and maybe they can help me. Or I'm going to start that thing. I'm going to do that thing again. Or I'm going to start my thing. So your voice is to be heard. It's not to be silenced. Because otherwise we wouldn't have a voice. Now, I've had the pleasure of interviewing one woman that is a powerhouse, and she cannot hear. She chose to, instead of learning to do sign language and read, which she knows, she chose to learn how to project her voice. So let's just learn something from that. And this woman is a bodybuilder and a fitness trainer, and she's done bodybuilding competitions, which I'm going to show her. She will be on the podcast in the next couple of weeks. She's such an inspiration, such an inspiration. So we sit here saying, I don't want to share my voice. And there's women, people out there that cannot hear, that are learning to speak their voice because they want change. They want to be more. And we're sitting here shriveling like, seriously. I'm getting all fired up. I shouldn't though, should I? Should I? Maybe I should. I don't know. Sometimes I get fired up. But the women and the people that share their voice are the ones that don't just grow their business. They grow impact. If this has resonated with you, then start sharing your story. I will also say that when I shared my story in a group, I had well over 800 women comment. sorry, not comment. Yes, comment. And I had well over 550 comments. 770 liked it. Well over 550 people commented, and I had to turn off the comments because it was just too much. And that showed me that there are people out there that want to share their stories. This is why I did my podcast. So if you're thinking that you're wanting to share your story and you don't know how, reach out to me. A podcast is a really good starting point to become visible, to voice your voice, to make the issue. We talk about stuff. We talk about your business. We talk about your life. We talk about things go up and down. And guess what? You're not alone because I'm sitting here with my lemon turmeric ginger honey water that my good friend Vicky Vortex got me onto because she was on my podcast when I first started. My God, I'm going off in a rant. But remember, if you start sharing more of your story in a not way that is cringy, that is victim mode, it will start to build your brand and your leadership. You will become more of a leader in your thing, whatever your thing is. I hope this has resonated with you. I'm signing right off for today. Have an awesome morning, awesome afternoon. I sound incredibly hoarse, but heck, the show must go on.